Hello, and welcome back to another Elevated Marketing at Dodd podcast, where we simplify complicated digital marketing topics. Got with me today the lovely Brenna.
Hello, hello.
All right, we are going to be talking about video podcasting today, which seems like not anything new for us. We've been doing it for quite a while, but it might be a new concept to other people like, oh no, this is audio. Oh no, this is video. Why not do them both?
Yep. I know influencers have been doing this for a while too.
Yeah.
But there's a reason for all of it.
Sometimes overcomplicating and undersimplifying.
Yep.
All right. So for today's a fun question, what does it take for you to get packed?
About 3 days and 3 checklists. 3 is my lucky number, so I try to stick to around that. But
there you go. You're trying to get like as many things as possible. Like, hey, I might want this. I might want that.
But what about this? This could happen.
You don't know. Like being prepared, like we've talked about before.
Yeah.
When you have a whole lot of stuff to work with, you can make a whole lot, right?
You sure can.
Yeah, like you gotta have those staples in your suitcase that, okay, well, I can do that with that and that with that.
Yep. How can we repurpose one shirt for of multiple days?
I've got something pulled over. I don't have anything pulled over.
It works.
Okay, so I think this definitely relates to video podcasts. So first of all, like what is that? And it's essentially when you are recording for a podcast, which we're doing right now, you are also recording for a video. Like, why make it separate?
You shouldn't.
I think the argument might be that, oh, well, I don't like video, I'd rather just do audio.
Well, yeah, I could see that. I think like in this social media era, video is important, and we like to say what? Repurpose your content, and you kind of get it's kind of like a double whammy when it comes to video podcasts. You do have the audio and you do have the video, but
you're already talking. You're talking about a subject. I think that the rub might be that, oh, I don't want to be on video, and I would say you're probably overthinking video. If we think about the type of videos that are being made today, it doesn't need to be overly produced.
Yes, I think that's a big thing for a lot of people too. Is they're like, oh, I don't have the means for this sort of production. You don't have to. It's simple.
I think you're just kind of coming up with different ways to not do, but the actual content is what matters. And so combining video and podcasts together, you're going to end up with a ton more assets for marketing to use later.
Yeah, absolutely. And on multiple different channels too.
Yeah. So just to like kind of walk through like what we've got going on. I mean, we've got when we get done with this, we're going to end up with a video that will in full go over to YouTube and in full be scheduled to go live next week for people to hear it on our different social medias. But then that video can also be chopped up and we can make lots of reels out of it or /TikToks. Because then we have what's that?
YouTube Shorts.
Yep. So we've got a variety of different places we can use it there. It actually will also become a podcast. So, you just got to know the places to kind of go. It's a lot simpler than it sounds, but extract out that audio and make it in a podcast. Then it'll actually become a written blog post as well. Yeah. And there's just like tips that will come out of that, which become like social media. It's like one blog post or one topic, we could essentially create a whole bunch of stuff. But now we have so much out there. We could take a couple weeks off and a lot of people might not notice.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, and going back to packing a suitcase, we're packing all kinds of content.
Well, we focus on the content and focus on the subject at hand. And in this essence, it's creating that video podcast. It's combining two different things. Just turn the camera on and have a conversation with people.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know. I think it's easier to get in front of a camera when you're confident about what you're talking about. And more than likely, if you are choosing to do a podcast, it's because you are pretty confident on these different topics. So maybe that can give a little peace of mind having the camera on too.
Well, it's just it's a habit thing for me. Like the more you do this, the more you get used to it, and it's not that big of a deal. It's always like pushing that rock over the first time. Like once you push it over and then stay with the consistency, you don't overthink things, you just move past it. Everybody starts seeing you as like a normal human being, like, hey, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes from time to time. But I know marketing so well that I'm not going to have a problem turning on a video and talking about it. Just giving myself that kind of like breathing room.
Yeah. And I think too, from another perspective, it can help your audience feel a little bit more connected to you in a sense.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's that visual like cues that people get from speaking with you. Like, I have a hard time how sometimes the world has moved into like text only. I just want to text you or put it in a chat or send you an email. Like, man, can we just get back to having conversations? Like I enjoy it. Like it's more real. I'm real. I'm not a robot.
For sure. Well, I think you raise a good point too in terms of like written text. Sometimes things can be taken out of context, whereas voice and video, you can you get the full picture.
And people can get to know you and understand who you are and whether or not maybe they want to work with you or what you're really trying to get across. Like that's good too. And I think just like video content in general is super popular.
It is.
There's billions daily of videos being put out there. So TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Reels, long form webinars, there's tons of videos. So you gotta find somebody in your organization that doesn't mind the camera.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I mean, really, again, we all know video, it is part of content, and putting that video out there can just be another valuable resource for your audience or help you, of course, reach people who aren't in your audience right now. But I think the valuable resource is what is important with that.
Well, reach, what you're talking about there, like getting in front of more people. So the algorithms like video. They like when you use video because it keeps people on their platforms instead of leaving and going to another platform. So that's really playing up to the algorithms and what they want, but it's also playing up to the audience and what they want right now. But we're not like sleeping on the job, and we're not putting it on the website as well. Like it's like keeping all the saucers in the air.
Yeah. And I think with that too, a lot of people do like to see faces in video. That maybe sounds a little odd, but I don't know. And if they are drawn to that, it's going to increase your engagement metrics. Therefore, the algorithm is going to push it out more.
Yeah. There's another one. And engagement, playing to the algorithm. But we're not, we're just being ourselves here. Yeah. And we will attract a certain audience, and there might be an audience that be like, I don't want anything to do with that. And that's okay.
Yeah.
We're just having conversations, and hopefully people like to hang out with us. Yeah. Okay. I feel like we've kind of hit them all. I mean, you know, maybe you struggle with the equipment that you need to buy. I know there's, you know, tons out there, and that might be the holdup possibly.
Mhm.
Happy to have a chat with anybody that's like, hey, what do I need? It might be a lot simpler than what you think, because there's lots of choices.
For sure. Agreed.
Just get the content out there and start talking about your product or service.
Content. We're content producing machines.
That is for sure. All right. Well, if you enjoyed today's show and you're listening on YouTube, certainly subscribe. Or if you're listening to the podcast, please rate and review if you enjoyed it. And if not, you know, send me an email. Tell me you didn't like it. What do we get on our YouTube channel? Some weird comment.
Yeah.
Poo poo.
Yeah,
No, just too much. All right. Take care, guys.